Hey everyone, Phantom here, and today we're diving into one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in American history, the Black Dahlia. In 1947, the brutal murder of Elizabeth Short shocked the nation. Her body was found severed in half, posed in a grotesque display. Who was she? Who killed her? And why has this case remained unsolved for over 75 years? Buckle up, because this story is as dark as it gets, and it will leave you questioning everything you think you know about true crime. Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia, was a 22-year-old aspiring actress with dreams of Hollywood stardom. Born in Boston, her life was marked by tragedy: her father's suicide attempt, financial struggles, and a series of failed relationships. She moved to Los Angeles, hoping for a fresh start, but instead, her life ended in unimaginable horror. Elizabeth's story is one of broken dreams and a fate that still haunts us today. On January 15, 1947, a mother and her child stumbled upon a horrifying scene in a Los Angeles vacant lot. Elizabeth Short's body was found severed at the waist, her face slashed into a grotesque smile, and her body drained of blood. The killer had posed her body with chilling precision, as if sending a message. The discovery sent shockwaves through the city, and the case quickly became a media sensation. The LAPD launched one of the largest manhunts in history, but the killer left almost no evidence. Hundreds of suspects were questioned, including former lovers, acquaintances, and even Hollywood figures. Despite their efforts, the police hit dead end after dead end. The case became a frustrating puzzle, with more questions than answers. Who could commit such a heinous crime and vanish without a trace? Soon after the murder, the LAPD received a series of taunting letters from someone claiming to be the killer. One letter included Elizabeth's personal belongings, sent to the press with a cryptic message. The letters were filled with riddles and threats, but despite extensive analysis, they led nowhere. Was the killer mocking the police, or was this a desperate cry for attention? The letters remain one of the most haunting aspects of the case. Over the years, countless suspects have been named, from doctors to Hollywood elites. Some believe it was a jealous lover, while others think it was a serial killer. One theory even suggests Elizabeth's father was involved. But with no concrete evidence, the truth remains elusive. The Black Dahlia case is a labyrinth of theories, each more chilling than the last. Who was the real killer? We may never know. The Black Dahlia case became a media circus. Newspapers sensationalized every detail, and the public was captivated by the gruesome story. Elizabeth's life was scrutinized, and her image was forever tied to the crime. But did the media attention hinder the investigation? Some believe the press's obsession with the case may have destroyed crucial evidence or scared off potential witnesses. Despite decades of investigation, the Black Dahlia case remains unsolved. It has inspired books, movies, and countless theories. But for Elizabeth Short, there has been no justice. Her story is a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind the glamour of Hollywood. The Black Dahlia case is more than a mystery, it's a tragedy that continues to captivate and horrify. Elizabeth Short was born in Boston in 1924, and her childhood was far from perfect. Her father's suicide attempt and subsequent disappearance left her family in financial ruin. Elizabeth moved around frequently, searching for stability, but her life was always marked by hardship. Her dreams of stardom led her to Los Angeles, but instead of fame, she found a nightmare. In 1946, Elizabeth moved to Los Angeles, the city of dreams. She hoped to become an actress, but her dreams were quickly dashed. She struggled to find work and often relied on the kindness of strangers. Little did she know, her time in LA would end in tragedy. Elizabeth's story is a cautionary tale of the dangers that can lurk beneath the surface of Hollywood's glittering facade. In the days leading up to her murder, Elizabeth was seen at various locations around Los Angeles. She was reportedly looking for work and seemed optimistic about her future. But on January 9, 1947, She vanished without a trace. What happened in those final days? Did she cross paths with her killer? Or was she lured into a trap? The answers remain shrouded in mystery. The crime scene was meticulously staged. Elizabeth's body was posed in a way that suggested the killer wanted to send a message. Her body was clean, almost as if it had been washed, and her hair was neatly arranged. The killer's attention to detail was both chilling and baffling. Was this the work of a deranged mind? Or was there a deeper meaning behind the staging? The autopsy revealed the extent of Elizabeth's injuries. She had been tortured before her death, with multiple cuts and bruises on her body. The cause of death was determined to be hemorrhaging from the cuts to her face. The brutality of the crime shocked even the most experienced investigators. Who could commit such a heinous act, and why? The LAPD initially focused on Elizabeth's acquaintances, including former lovers and friends. One of the first suspects was a man named Robert Manley, who had been seen with Elizabeth shortly before her disappearance. However, he was quickly cleared of any involvement. The police were left with more questions than answers, and the case grew colder by the day. One of the most persistent theories is that the killer was a doctor or someone with medical knowledge. The precision of the cuts and the way the body was posed suggested a level of expertise. But despite numerous investigations, no doctor was ever definitively linked to the crime. Was the killer a medical professional, or was this just a red herring? Elizabeth's dreams of stardom led some to believe that her murder was connected to Hollywood. Rumors swirled about powerful figures in the industry who may have wanted her silenced. But without evidence, these theories remain speculative. The glitz and glamour of Hollywood provided a perfect backdrop for this dark tale. But was it more than just a coincidence? Some believe that Elizabeth's father, who had abandoned the family years earlier, may have been involved in her murder. However, there is no evidence to support this claim, and it remains one of the many unproven theories surrounding the case. Could a father really do such a thing? Or is this just another dead end? Given the brutality of the crime, some investigators believe that the Black Dahlia murder was the work of a serial killer. However, no other murders have been definitively linked to the case, leaving this theory unproven. Was the killer a one-time offender, or did they go on to commit other crimes? The LAPD's handling of the case has been criticized over the years. Some believe that their focus on sensationalism and media attention may have hindered the investigation. Key evidence may have been overlooked in the rush to solve the case. Did the police fail Elizabeth short, or were they simply outmatched by a cunning killer? The Black Dahlia case captivated the public's imagination. People were fascinated by the gruesome details and the mystery surrounding Elizabeth's life and death. The case became a cultural phenomenon, inspiring countless books, movies, and TV shows. But behind the fascination lies a tragic story of a young woman whose life was cut short. Despite decades of investigation, the Black Dahlia case remains unsolved. The killer's identity is still unknown, and the case continues to haunt those who have tried to solve it. Elizabeth Short's story is a tragic reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows. Will we ever know the truth? Or is this a mystery destined to remain unsolved? The Black Dahlia case had a profound impact on the way crimes are investigated. It highlighted the importance of preserving evidence and the dangers of media sensationalism. The case also led to advancements in forensic science, although it was too late to help solve Elizabeth's murder. Her story changed the way we approach true crime, but at what cost? Elizabeth Short's legacy is a complicated one. She is remembered not only as a victim, but also as a symbol of the dark side of Hollywood. Her story has inspired countless works of art, but it has also left many questions unanswered. Who was Elizabeth Short, really, and why does her story continue to captivate us? The Black Dahlia case remains one of the most enduring mysteries in American history. Despite numerous investigations, books, and documentaries, the truth about what happened to Elizabeth Short remains elusive. Her story continues to captivate and horrify to this day. Will we ever find the answers, or is this a mystery destined to remain unsolved? As we wrap up this chilling tale, one question remains: will the Black Dahlia case ever be solved? With advances in technology, there is always hope that new evidence will come to light. But for now, the mystery of Elizabeth Short's murder remains one of the darkest chapters in true crime history. Her story is a reminder that some secrets may never be revealed. The crime scene was not just gruesome, it was theatrical. Elizabeth's body was placed in a vacant lot, her legs spread apart, and her arms positioned above her head. The killer had drained her blood and cleaned her body, leaving no trace of struggle. This level of precision suggested a calculated, almost artistic mind. Was the killer sending a message, or was this just the work of a deranged individual? During the autopsy, it was discovered that several of Elizabeth's organs were missing. Her intestines had been neatly placed under her body, and her liver was never found. This macabre detail led some to believe the killer had medical knowledge or even a twisted fascination with anatomy. Was the killer a doctor, or was this just a gruesome coincidence? The media played a huge role in shaping the Black Dahlia narrative. Newspapers published graphic details of the crime, often exaggerating facts to sell more copies. Elizabeth's life was sensationalized, and her image was forever tied to the crime. But did this attention help or hinder the investigation? Some believe the media's obsession with the case may have destroyed crucial evidence. In addition to the letters, the killer allegedly made phone calls to the press and police, taunting them with cryptic messages. One caller claimed to be the murderer and even provided details only the killer would know. But like the letters, these calls led nowhere. Was the killer playing a game, or were they desperate for attention? Elizabeth's connection to Hollywood fueled countless theories. Some believed she was killed by a powerful studio executive, while others thought she was a victim of a jealous rival. The glitz and glamour of Hollywood provided a perfect backdrop for this dark tale. But was there any truth to these theories, or were they just the product of a sensationalized media? Elizabeth's father, Cleo Short, was a troubled man who abandoned his family when Elizabeth was young. Some theorize that he may have been involved in her murder, but there's no evidence to support this. Still, his absence loomed large in Elizabeth's life. Could he have played a role in her tragic fate? Or is this just another dead end? The LAPD was under immense pressure to solve the case, but their efforts were hampered by a lack of evidence and false leads. Detectives interviewed over 150 suspects, but none could be definitively linked to the crime. The case became a source of frustration and embarrassment for the department. Did the police fail Elizabeth Short, or were they simply outmatched by a cunning killer? The public was quick to offer their own theories about the murder. Some believed it was the work of a jealous lover, while others thought it was a ritualistic killing. The lack of answers only fueled the speculation, making the case even more mysterious. But with so many theories, how do we separate fact from fiction? The way Elizabeth's body was posed suggested the killer had a specific message in mind. Some believe the pose was meant to mock the police, while others think it was a symbolic gesture. Whatever the reason, it added to the killer's mystique. Was this the work of a deranged mind, or was there a deeper meaning behind the staging? Despite numerous investigations, the Black Dahlia case remains a cold case. Advances in forensic science have been applied to the evidence, but so far, no breakthroughs have been made. The killer's identity remains one of the greatest mysteries in criminal history. Will we ever know the truth? Or is this a mystery destined to remain unsolved? The Black Dahlia case has had a lasting impact on popular culture. It has inspired countless books, movies, and TV shows, each offering their own take on the mystery. Elizabeth Short's story has become a symbol of the dark side of fame and ambition. But behind the fascination lies a tragic story of a young woman whose life was cut short. The last letter sent to the police by the supposed killer was particularly chilling. It contained a piece of Elizabeth's belongings and a cryptic message that read, "You'll never catch me." The letter was signed with a symbol, adding to the mystery. Was this the killer's final taunt? Or was it a desperate cry for attention? What drove the killer to commit such a brutal crime? Some believe it was personal, while others think it was the work of a deranged mind. The lack of a clear motive has made the case even more perplexing. Was the killer motivated by anger, jealousy, or something even darker? Over the years, key pieces of evidence have gone missing, including the original letters sent by the killer. This has made it even harder for investigators to solve the case, leaving many to wonder if the truth will ever come to light. Was the evidence destroyed? Or is it still out there, waiting to be found? Why does the Black Dahlia case continue to fascinate us? Perhaps it's the combination of Hollywood glamour and gruesome crime, or the fact that the killer was never caught. Whatever the reason, Elizabeth Short's story remains as captivating as ever. Her murder is a reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. Despite the lack of progress, there are still clues that could potentially solve the case. Advances in DNA technology have given investigators new hope, but so far, no breakthroughs have been made. The mystery endures, but could modern science finally crack the case? The Black Dahlia killer has become a legend in the annals of true crime. Their ability to evade capture and taunt the police has made them one of the most infamous criminals in history. But who were they, and why did they kill Elizabeth Short? Their legacy is one of fear and fascination. By the 1950s, the LAPD had all but given up on solving the case. The leads had dried up, and the public's interest had waned. But the mystery of the Black Dahlia continued to haunt those who had worked on the case. For many, it was a personal failure case that would never be closed. In recent years, new theories have emerged about the Black Dahlia case. Some believe the killer was a known serial killer, while others think it was a copycat crime. But without concrete evidence, these theories remain speculative. Could modern technology finally provide the answers we've been searching for? Elizabeth's murder had a devastating impact on her family. Her mother, Phoebe, spent the rest of her life searching for answers, but she never found closure. The case left a lasting scar on those who knew Elizabeth. Her family's pain is a reminder that behind every true crime story, there are real people whose lives were forever changed. What kind of person could commit such a heinous crime? Psychologists have speculated that the killer was a sadist, someone who derived pleasure from the suffering of others. But without knowing their identity, we can only guess. Was the killer a monster, or were they a product of their environment? The Black Dahlia case marked the end of an era in Los Angeles. It was a time when Hollywood was at its peak, but the case revealed the dark underbelly of the city. Elizabeth Short's murder became a symbol of the dangers that lurked beneath the surface. The glamour of Hollywood was forever tainted by this gruesome crime, and the city would never be the same. The case remains a haunting reminder of a time when dreams could turn into nightmares. Despite the passage of time, there are still clues that could potentially solve the case. Advances in forensic science have given investigators new tools, but so far, no breakthroughs have been made. The mystery endures, but could modern technology finally crack the case? Some believe that DNA evidence or newly discovered documents could hold the key. But until then, the Black Dahlia case remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. Elizabeth Short's story has become a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers that can lurk in the shadows. Her murder remains one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in history, a mystery that continues to captivate and horrify. The Black Dahlia case has inspired countless books, movies, and TV shows, but behind the fascination lies a tragic story of a young woman whose life was cut short. Her legacy is one of both mystery and tragedy. Thank you for joining me on this journey into one of America's darkest mysteries. The story of the Black Dahlia is a chilling reminder that some secrets may never be solved. Elizabeth Short's life and death continue to haunt us, and her story serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that can exist in the world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.